while British people are being told there's no money left, services are being cut, they can struggle to get GP appointments, parks are being closed, etc. There appears to be infinite money for citizens of foreign country, including and especially people who come to the country illegally. So, for example, and we'll talk about Kent County Council, but it's writ large. You're finding this across multiple councils that we control. Illegal migrants and asylum seekers being taken to safari parks on the taxpayer's dime, trampolining, skateboarding, the circus. So Kent County Council spending taxpayers' money taking asylum seekers and illegal migrants to the circus. Yeah, I'm not making this up. Exactly. The jokes write themselves. And do you know what makes people so angry? And you see that in the comments because we gave all of this to the Daily Mail, who verified all of it. Is that British people are struggling. They're struggling to find the time and the money. It's all right to laugh because it's like if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
I know, I'm not supposed to laugh.
But spending taxpayers' money taking asylum seekers to the circus. Yeah, it's when we looked at this data, we were staggered ourselves. And the reason why people are so betrayed, Winston, is because we hear this all the time. So we're struggling to make ends meet. They're working 2 jobs. I don't have the time to take my kids out to safari parks and to skate parks and ice rinks and the cinema. Look, we found, by the way, this is the tip of the iceberg, Winston. We also found hundreds of thousands of pounds on fast food, Domino's, McDonald's, Nando's, Pizza Express. We also found thousands and thousands of pounds on not just TV licenses for illegal migrants and asylum seekers. They were bored of TV, so they bought Netflix subscriptions. And apparently they exhausted the Netflix library because then they got Disney Plus subscriptions. How many people in Britain are cancelling their own subscriptions because they're struggling to make ends meet in a cost of living crisis and where there's a total lack of opportunity for people? So when we talk about the social contract, we're talking about it is almost getting to the point now. I hear, why do I bother? So much from people all over the country, right? Why do I bother? It's getting to the point where the game theory of it is like, why on earth would you work hard and pay taxes when there are people who, in fact, one of our own Doge team, who all volunteers, one of them WhatsApped me. I tweeted this out, a screenshot. He said, I remember he said, man, these asylum seekers have a better lifestyle than me. Because he's a software engineer working really, really hard. And he's looking at all of this stuff. He's like, I've been wanting to go to that safari park, haven't had the time. Yeah. He's got the money, but he hasn't got the time to go. Yeah. And so when we talk about the social contract, and this is why it's so important to reveal this stuff, because there's no democratic mandate for this stuff. British people were never asked. And I go back to the point, we are told that we've just got to accept this boats situation and just hear these ridiculous platitudes of smashing the gangs. Under Labour, the only thing they're smashing is the record set by Rishi Sunak and the Tory government in terms of the people coming here. And the other really important point here is you understand business. You understand incentives, right? So Charlie Munger, who a lot of people know who he is, very great man, sadly passed away recently, Warren Buffett's business partner. And he had a quote, which I love. I used to have it up on the wall in my office when I used to run a company. Show me the incentives, I'll show you the outcome, right?
Yeah.
And so when we talk about the small boats, why do people come here in such numbers from France? They're not getting on boats from Gaza or Syria or Afghanistan. They're getting on boats from France, which is not a war zone. If it is, somebody should tell the 6 million British people who go there on holiday every summer, right? So why are they coming here? Because you get free housing, free healthcare, free taxis, trips to the safari park, rugby activities, trampoline. It's absolutely insane. So this is why this stuff is so important, because we've got to take away these incentives for people to come here, and we've got to stop putting citizens of foreign countries ahead, not just ahead, but so far ahead of our own citizens that, again, we are heading to... I wrote an op-ed before I'd entered politics properly, before the general election last year. I wrote an op-ed in the Telegraph, and I said, if we try... I used to work in investment banking, then I started a tech company, and I've always been reasonably good at sort of spotting inflection points in trends, but also extrapolating trends. If this country carries on the trajectory it's on, it's not like a bad outcome that we're headed to. It's a dystopian one.
So I kind of want to get into the weeds a little bit and how these things operate. Like not only how the councils are operating, but also how your Doge team is operating. Like how big is the team? Maybe we start with your team.
Yeah.
You say you come from a business background, and so presumably you're running it like a business operation, unlike how the councils are run. What's going on exactly? Like, paint that picture for me.
Yeah. So look, first of all, they're all volunteers, like me, basically. So they're all people who. That was an important part of what we're saying to people is that these are volunteers. There's no profit motive. They're unlike a lot of the consultants and strategic consultancy firms that are just
how many
milking.
people are working for you?
So we got 12 at the moment. But they're also using AI tools. They can bring to bear tools on these problems that, frankly, are not being brought to bear inside councils. And there are multiple strands to the mission with Doge, right? So some of it is exposing waste that is not necessarily a big percentage of the budget, like the things I talked about, but totally at odds with what British people would expect their taxpayers' money to be spent on, right? And that work is ongoing, and you're going to get more from us. I can't quite give it to you now, but you're going to hear more in the coming days and weeks about what we found. The second aspect is really drilling down into procurement. A lot of the problems that, and this is a more medium-term problem to solve, but a lot of the problems that ail this country, if you keep asking why, you eventually get to procurement. So meaning how contracts are awarded when it comes to taxpayers' money. Let me give you an example. Most of these councils are spending millions, some are spending tens of millions of pounds on taxis to take special educational needs children to school. Almost every contract I have looked at with taxi firms, ranging from hundreds of thousands of pounds into millions, has been awarded in a tender where there is only one bidder. Now, I put it to you, and this is endemic. The fact that someone as informed as you, up the information curve as you, is surprised by that is why Doge's work is so important. Because I put it to you, if you're going to get a taxi to the airport, you probably call more than one firm, right? And so when it comes to taxpayers' money, it is spent with no real consideration, no real accountability, and so that's and you know, this goes all the way through up to national government. Look at HS2, tens of billions of pounds spaffed up the wall, no consequences, no accountability.
So this
for
would
anybody.
this would be because they have no incentive to. They don't need to keep the budget down, and they don't need to.
Correct.
They're not punished for going over budget. So
they're
it's
not even punished. It's like before you even get to punishment, just like someone in the room that is going to go, hold on, no, that's not on. Like in a business, right? So let's take for even work from home, right? So this isn't an indictment of work from home in general for everybody. I get it. Like some people are more fine. If businesses want to have people who work for, I had a company, some of our employees work from home, cool. But in the company, if productivity falls, that's a big problem. And the chief executive and the board and the investors have a lot to lose as a result of that. In local government, the majority of these employees work from home. When I interrogate the CEOs of these councils, and by the way, it's the CEOs who really run these councils, and if you're in any doubt about that, the CEOs, as you just alluded to, 238 employees in councils earn more than the Prime Minister. Many of those are like HR directors, by the way, earning more than the Prime Minister. So the whole thing is snouts in the trough, no accountability. Why? Because there's the infinite money tree where you can just go and take money from the British taxpayer. And again, the Tories have been... Most of the councils we took control of are former Tory councils. Some of them former Labour councils. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They all run them in exactly the same way. And when I ask the CEOs, okay, how are you keeping tabs on productivity, etc., all I get is some soliloquy about how awesome work from home is. Well, I didn't ask that. I asked how many of the, do you have employee monitoring on your laptops? Or, do you check whether people are opening their laptops? And again, you don't really get any proper answers to that. Now, this is all the work that we're going to want to do to ensure that British taxpayers are getting value for the money that they are spending.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Winston Marshall Show. You can click here to watch the full episode. And for more clips like this one, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, be well.